During his military service, Elvis was introduced to karate, a discipline he pursued passionately for the rest of his life. The construction of Disneyland. Walt Disney made a big announcement in 1953 about building a theme park. The park would be located in Anaheim, California. In July of 1954, construction began. It took over 1 year to finish. The total cost was $17 million. On July 17, 1955, Disneyland opened. The opening day was a disaster because of several problems. There were issues with plumbing and food. The asphalt was soft and women's high heels sank into it. A trio of geishas are in a three-wheeled vehicle, Tokyo, in the 1920s. A portable radio in a straw hat made by an American inventor. This was in the United States of America, and the exact place isn't known. It dates back to 1931. Behind the Gare Saint-Lazare, Paris, 1932. The person who created the popular cartoon Shrek, William Steig, got his idea for the character from the professional wrestler Maurice Tillet. Celebrating Mardi Gras in New Orleans, 1905. Hello, kid. How you be? I'm fine, don't I look it? You know you must not set this card on the switchboard where you do your others. Marlene Dietrich kisses a soldier returning home from war in 1945. Villagers were arrested in Damyang, South Jeolla Province in South Korea, in December 1951. They were accused of collaborating with communist invaders. A United States soldier shares a chocolate bar with a local Japanese lady, 1946. Here's what the text says. Lion tamer and animal trainer Jack Bonavita with his lions. Bonavita was eventually killed by one of his animals in 1917, though it wasn't a lion, but instead a polar bear. Harrison Ford, when he was a carpenter, was building Sergio Mendes' recording studio in 1970. Jimi Hendrix performed at California's Monterey International Pop Festival on June 18, 1967. This gathering of tens of thousands of hippies and like-minded music fans helped put the 1960s counterculture on the map. Before she became famous as an actress in All in the Family, Maude and Golden Girls, Bea Arthur worked as a truck driver and typist in the United States Marine Corps Women's Reserve during World War II. Here are some photographs of the Flatiron Building under construction in New York City in 1902. The Bride of Notre Dame, 1949. The beauty micrometer or beauty calibrator was invented by Max Factor in 1930. An East German guard throws a ball back to a child playing on the West German side of the Berlin Wall. It was 1962. In 1924, Ruth Malcolmson was crowned Miss America at the age of 18, following her victory as Miss Philadelphia in 1923. (1943) United Kingdom. The weekly food ration for 2 people. It's about uncomfortable sleeping arrangements. 1860. There are 3 children playing in the snow. They are building a snowman. There is a little girl with a red hat and she's holding a carrot. Another child, a boy, is wearing a blue hat and is standing next to the snowman. The third child, also a boy, is wearing a black hat and is standing close by. The cockpit's armoured glass had a thickness of about 1.5 inches. Three female students walk in the city of Kabul, Afghanistan in 1972. Lewis Carroll, 1857. A Ford Model T from the early 1920s. The Hughes H-4 Spruce Goose, built by billionaire Howard Hughes in 1947, was the largest aircraft in the world and flew only once. A businessman and secretary are working in a pool. This is during a heatwave in Berlin, Germany, 1926. Someone's nose is swollen and reddened with severe suppuration in 1889. A Caterpillar-driven ferry, powered by a 24-horsepower engine, carries holidaymakers from Bigbury to Berg Island. It's a quarter-mile trip. This was in Devon in 1935. Armed students are leaving Straight Hall at Cornell University in Ithaca, New York. The students had barricaded themselves in the building, demanding a degree-granting African American Studies program in 1969. Dublin, 1896. The French army supplied 24,000 barrels of wine for its troops for the Battle of Gallipoli during World War I. A young girl is riding an alligator. It's the 1920s. This is young Master Stevenson of possibly Castlin, Carrick-on-Suir, County Tipperary, January 8, 1907. Alright, here's what we've got. It's a portable TV concept from 1967. The set has a small screen, a handle for carrying it, and it looks pretty compact. The USS Essex had TBMs and SB-2Cs that were dropping bombs on Hokkaido, Japan in 1945. Nessim Menashe is in front of his new and second-hand shoe store in northwest Portland. The store operated until 1921. This was around 1916. Walt Disney when he was 29. The less you have, the more you appreciate what you do have. This is Western North Carolina, 1914 to 1917. Rifles of surrendered Soviet soldiers. Comfort women. From 1932 to 1945, Japanese Imperial Armed Forces forced women from all over the world to be sex slaves in Korea and surrounding areas. Japan still denies it ever happened today. Some papier-mâché heads from the First World War. The design was for easy maintenance and repair of the engine. This was in the Netherlands in 1949. Selfies aren't a new invention. Here's a woman taking a selfie from the year 1900. The Flying Merkel motorcycle, a symbol of early 20th century American engineering, stands proudly in Milwaukee. 1910. Children learn how to properly blow their nose at Hester Howe Vacation School, Toronto, Canada, 1913. Film actress Faye Webb with her pet goose, which is wearing an attractive pair of glasses, 1925. The stroller has a radio with an antenna and a loudspeaker. It's there to keep the baby quiet. This was in the United States in 1921. Buffalo Bill Cody, 1880. A little boy has a surprise for his girlfriend. A headstand in Wellington City, New Zealand, 1923. Never Elizabeth Burright, 65, competed as a harness racer at Maywood Park in Chicago in 1948. No need to hit the gym. People looking to trim a few inches off their waistline could simply jiggle the fat away with this vibrating exercise belt from the 1920s. A boy's got a homemade Kodak camera and he's pretending to take a picture of a little girl with a doll. This was in 1907. February 2nd, 1954. Actress Hope Lang and diving instructor Chuck Dirksmeyer are diving off the Florida coast. Outdoors, at an alligator farm in California during the 1920s. It's a drive-in theatre at San Francisco, 1948. Andy Griffith Man's a 1952 Ford A10 tractor. He's getting ready to plant cedar trees. It really showcases his hard-working spirit, beyond just acting. It was the 1950s. Fun at camp. Boy Scouts are in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. It's July 3rd, 1913. Someone is using a welder to break the chain to the Golden Gate Bridge in 1937. A Japanese family is returning home to Seattle, Washington. They're coming from a relocation center camp in Hunt, Idaho, on May 10th, 1945. Surrealist artist Salvador Dali poses for the photograph known as Dali Atomicus, a collaboration between himself and American photographer Philippe Halsman that was published in 1948. Mother and Child and It's a Typical Day in San Francisco 1952 by Dorothea Lange. There's a 20-mule team drawing a farm combine in Walla Walla County, Washington from 1941. It's Americana. October 6th, 1940. Young daughters of air raid wardens in southeast London are practicing first aid with the aid of their dolls in World War II. Jewish civilians during the destruction of the Warsaw Ghetto, Poland in 1943. A family is heading down Park Avenue in a dog sled during the winter of 1947. Winston Churchill, 1909. A 4-year-old child helps a family in picking potatoes, showing the hard work during the Great Depression, 1931. The first photo of Earth taken from space in 1946. Beach changing rooms during the 1930s. The Wild West, on a voyage from New York to London, 1899. Tokyo in March 1945, amidst the chaos of World War II, reflects the devastation of air raids and the impact on the city. Tokyo, March 1945. A Man Stands in Fog, London, 1935. There's a girl at a hot sausage shop, Germany, in 1931. A camera was strapped to a homing pigeon in 1908. Parachuting Allied soldiers and equipment in 1951. Throughout the war, the US military dominated aerial warfare. Korean War. Florida, around 1896, Jupiter and Lake Worth Railroad. Suffragette Frances Willard, who lived from 1839 to 1898, is learning to ride a bike. She's 53 years old and doing it for the first time. She's getting some help from her friends. She even wrote a book about it. There's a dapper young man, all dressed up to have his photo made. It's 1905. The Alweg monorail train in Cologne, Germany, 1952. Taylor Franz Reichelt designed a parachute suit for pilots during the early days of flight. Feeling confident after dummy tests, he tested it himself in 1912 by jumping from the Eiffel Tower. Mary Wellens, the first female bus driver in Chicago, 1974. Conrad O'Brien French greets a bear. Having spent his youth as a Mountie, surviving the First World War, and serving as an MI6 agent in the Second World War, he was known to welcome danger. This was in Banff National Park, 1950. A young girl and a boy are sitting together on a bench, and in front of them is a raccoon. The boy has a dark hat on, and both of them are looking at the raccoon. The raccoon is sitting on a surface and seems to be facing them. There is grass. There's a dog on the right side of the bench. A small crowd is posing in front of a California sequoia tree named Mark Twain in 1892. The US Army cut down the 1,300-year-old 331-foot-tall tree the previous year. Susan LaFlèche, the first Native American physician, graduated medical school as the valedictorian in 1889. This is possibly the first GPS, an auto-scrolling map that would help people navigate in real time in 1930. Lucille Mulhall at 101 Ranch, 1909. American Marine Corps Private First Class Natalie Slack and American Marine Corps Corporal Dean L. Stidham on the deck of the Alright, let's hear this. The Knife Thrower and Assistant, 1900. A brewery in England delivered kegs of beer on Spitfires to troops fighting in Normandy in June, 1944. Tall cowboy Ralphie Madsen is with Senator Morris Shepherd in 1919. The Cherolyn Horse Car Line is the only gravity car line in the world, in Denver, 1890. Miniaturized listening devices for better movement, that's the concept, originating from the Netherlands during the 1930s. A dog's got curlers in its fur, and it's at a hairdressing salon in London around 1968. Alright, let's talk about Coney Island's go-karts. The Mum's Parade in Philadelphia, 1909. Mustard, the mascot for the 321st Tank Company, is here with Sergeant Paul Postal. Mustard joined the tank crew on Halloween of 1918 and stayed with them through the rest of the conflict. Bloodletting by venesection from the 1860s. This is a portrait of Chang and Eng Bunker. They were Siamese twins born in 1811. They toured as performers in the early 19th century. A koala drinks from a spoon, Australia, 1900. He's drinking a glass of Belgian beer in 1971. The Rufus Buck Gang, 1896. A mailman poses with his heavy load of Christmas mail and parcels in Chicago, 1929. The original design of the Michelin Man was much more intimidating. He had exaggerated features that contrasted sharply with the friendly character we know today. Santa Claus Riding an Elephant, Minneapolis, Minnesota, 1925.